Greetings. My name is Siobhan. I laid down to meditate on a different situation and started receiving multiple messages. One of my higher self aspects is the goddess Abgal, who is the goddess of wisdom and moral code, high priestess in Atlantis, and I guess you could say high priestess and teacher of multiple South American civilizations, including the Mayans and the Toltecs, and a group that's not even included in, I guess you say, typical Earth history. She lived there quite a while after the fall of Atlantis. So I'm going to see, as multiple messages are just coming through, I want to allow those messages to come through now to be recorded and shared for those who will benefit and are open to hearing the wisdom that is coming forward. So in all things, and anytime you listen to a message, anytime you participate in a transmission, a meditation, or a healing, always invoke your own I am source light, as we are all from the light. And the more of us invoke our lights from within, the higher the integrity of the message and the information coming forward, as well as the information or energy being exchanged. So you can never invoke too much light. There's no such thing as too much light, as we are from the light. So when we speak of darkness, we are speaking of, or the dark ones, whether you are familiar with them as the Cabal, the Illuminati, the Deep State, as the dark ones do not only reside here on the earth in this dimension. So we refer to them as the dark ones. The dark ones are any beings that has chosen separation from source, and sometimes even the unawakened can present or fall into that category, as they are unaware and unawakened and unaware of their source and who they are in truth. And so they may even temporarily align with the dark ones or behave as the dark ones, same as unawakened humans. So we're going to see how this flows. One of the messages, our sister Desiree had a dream. She had multiple dreams. We all have multiple dreams, but one of the dreams was actually of myself and another angelic, and it was actually Homer from the OA series, which I've just started. We're basically fighting or shooting, or went to shoot at each other, and our guns jammed. What we received about this was, when he reincarnated, as we incarnate multiple times, he did not remember who he was. And so because he was unaware and unawakened, he was presenting himself as the enemy, and which those that are asleep will often present themselves as the enemy. Even when we were asleep, we did things out of character or that we would not do, knowing truth, knowing our origin, knowing who we are. I do want to stress the importance of understanding your origin. When you are asleep, and when you are unaware, when you do not remember, your enemies, which in this case, when I say enemies, we are talking about the dark ones who chose separation from source, have power over you. Only in your unawakened state, when you do not remember who you are. That is when they have power over you. That's why they start attacking us as soon as we enter this dimension, as soon as we enter the womb, as soon as we are birthed at the hospital. It is true that they watch the stargates just as they indicated with the story of Yeshua, Brother Yeshua in the Bible, when they knew that he was being born. They watched the stargates and they can tell what dimension we're coming from. And they watch to see when souls are entering, and then they try to determine where those souls are being born and things of that nature, so that they can, especially the strongest ones, or especially if they're able to verify that we are elders, which the elders are the ancient builder race, which means they hold all the original codes, keys, the organic templates for all the galaxies. You are a creator being. So this is not a game. We have been captured, tortured, multiple lifetimes, multiple times, not just on the earth. Especially if you catch the fallen aspects, or the ones that are sleeping, or the ones that are deceived or manipulated into serving darkness. This is how Atlantis fell. This is how Lemuria fell. They attacked the elders. They separated the elders. They divided and conquered the elders. This is all about divide and conquer. Multiple times have we been used, had our energy stolen or siphoned, had black magic used on us, dark sex rituals. Some of us have been sex slaves. So this is not a game. This is about using your energy. And I want you to understand the dark ones are not powerful. If they were powerful, as they would like to present themselves, they would not need to steal your energy. They would not need to steal your light. They would not need to steal your transmissions, your information, the information you receive from source. They would not need to feed off of you or other people. The reason why dark ones, fallen angels, Anunnaki, reptilians feed off of other beings is because when they disconnected themselves from the light, they cannot generate their own life force. They cannot sustain their own life. You cannot claim to be powerful when you cannot sustain your own life, and you have to feed off of someone else. So it is time we stop pretending, stop playing their game. They're not powerful. I don't care how strong or how big they look or present themselves to you or claim to know all things. They did not incarnate through the veil of amnesia like we did. So that's their only advantage, because they remember and they know who you are. You don't know who you are. And that is why they are calling forward on as many of us as here that are here to awaken, to stop playing this game. You are stronger than you know. If at any time, if you are currently still engaging in dark magic practices, you do not know who you are. You are in a state of confusion. You basically need to make the decision to stop. Because if it is dark and it's not of the light, it's not of love, then you are out of alignment with your higher self. The greatest power and your highest potential is in alignment with your higher self, with light and love, not in confusion, not in ego, not trying to prove that you're right. Because when you truly understand what it is that we are one, then you don't want to harm, control, manipulate, deceive, or have power over anyone. Because trying to have power over someone else is an internal conflict within yourself, and you're trying to gain power over yourself. It's an internal conflict that needs to be healed. When you love yourself, you want to empower others. You want to assist others. You want to awaken others to their truth, which is your truth, that we're all from source, and that we are all one, and that we are all powerful. A healed, integrated, loving individual who remembers who they are wants to empower others to help them connect to their own higher self, not to manipulate, deceive, or control, or have people follow them or worship them. These are all fallen aspects. Source, even the highest of source, original source where we all came from, does not need worship, because we are all source. We do not worship each other. We support each other. We lift each other. We empower each other. We do not argue, debate, and fight and need to be right. One of the best things that I did in order to come into alignment with my higher self and source, which, yes, I am my higher self, but it's still a process of integration, allowing in more light and love and truth. It's a process, because we came from the highest of dimensions, 13th, 14th, and 15th, and you're all the way down in the 3rd and 4th. So don't think you know everything. You don't. You have access to it if you allow it with light and love, but you do not know. If you think you know, then you're still in ego. If you think you know better than your higher self and oversoul, you're still in ego. If you think you know the answers, you're still in ego. Because regardless of even the messages you've received from source, they are only in the simplest way that they can tell you from your perspective. Because from this perspective on this planet, we are like infants. So any information they give us is much more complex in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th and up. So don't think that you know. You don't know. We have access to it, and they will tell us in the best way that we could comprehend it at this time. But one of the best things I did was give up my need to be right. And I made a statement and a declaration that I would prefer to know truth. I don't care what I've been taught. I don't care what I thought. I don't care what I thought 6 months ago, if I allow for expansion of that truth to be further explained to me. One of the best examples I use, I meditated one day. I asked to know the name of my higher self. They gave me a name and told me it was my oversoul. I didn't know what an oversoul was. I asked for guidance to understand what an oversoul is. Later on, as time progressed, I was told, well, you're actually billions of years old. We've all expanded in that time. You actually have 3 oversouls. So then I was told I had 3 oversouls. I was also told that the Rock Collective is my oversoul. Later on, they clarified, yes, the Rock Collective is your oversoul, but technically, the Rock Collective is 3 oversouls that have united. So from origin, we all individualized, began experiencing, began creating. And we would go down the dimensions, and we go up the dimensions. We go down and we go up. We went down, and then on our up one time, at some time in space, at whenever, we decided to unite. And that was on the ascension, going back up. That was the best way they can explain it for me to understand it. But understand your higher self and your oversoul, your purest essence, they know what happened. We don't. So don't think that you do. Your personality does not. As long as you're down here, you do not. But you can tap into it to know. So, one of the best things you can do is accept that you don't know. Accept that other people don't know. They have pieces. They have slight understanding, but understand like seriously. Compared to your purest essence, your truest essence and who you are, you comprehend on an infantile level. A toddler level. We do. All of us. And then, I guess you could say some are like newborns, like brand new. Like they just really don't understand. And that's okay, because you have connection to that. Let me see, what else was I being told? That might be about it, Well, we'll continue to talk and dialogue and have conversations. I would love to meet you if I haven't met you or spoken to you directly. Have a session. There's actually way more of us on the planet. And as long as we're still plugged into the matrix, we are a danger to ourselves and others. It is very important to know who you are. Very important to know where you came from. Very important to know your purpose, what you wanted to do. Very important to have your entities removed. We are doing wonderful. We are doing well. But this is about moving forward. And this is about understanding. Don't get to the point where you think you know. I've seen that happen with multiple light workers or readers. They've been reading for a long time. They think they know all there is to know. No, you don't. You don't. And then those that are ready, those who answer the call, will be restored to the rightful place. But in society, or in this, dimension. But understand, discernment is one of the best tools you need to master. There are fallen aspects. There's fallen aspects of the elders. There's fallen Anunnaki. But also understand that the dark ones need the angelics and the elders. They need them. And they need to deceive them and manipulate them to have things happen. Even they gave a message about Thanos. Thanos is obviously really an elder. But that story is about them needing to manipulate him and deceive him into thinking or believing, even though the only way they can deceive him is because he did not heal his own trauma. Because they tell the story of Thanos and how he suffered great loss. But he did not heal that. And then he felt that he was doing the right thing. He believed that he was doing the right thing by killing half the population. Really, their only desire to have half the population killed was their attempt at killing as many wanderers, volunteers, starseeds, and angelics as they could that were coming here to awaken humanity. So don't be deceived. Don't be afraid. Don't fall into fear. Whatever's happened before in the past, you are unaware, you are unawakened. You have the opportunity to move forward in a new understanding, a better understanding of truth of yourself. You do not need to manipulate, deceive, or use anything that's out of alignment with light or love. True organic source magic is adding love to everything you do. What has happened in this dimension is the removal of love and light. That is what happened. That's why you see it playing out, because everything is internal and external. It's not one or the other. It is both. Healing yourself helps to heal the outward external manifestations. Understand this stuff has been manifesting over billions of years of time. Millions here on the earth. Heal yourself. It'll help with the ascension faster. Love yourself. Love others. It will help with the ascension faster. But also use your boundaries. Use your shield. Invoke your light. Create force fields. When you are shielding, whatever light you're invoking, and you can radiate, change it, do rainbow, whatever you want to do. Always add. You're adding a shield to your previous shield. You're adding, because as you add additional shields and they keep getting stronger and stronger, you create force fields. You create force fields. Call on your angelic brothers and sisters, your star brethren, on the elements. Call on the air elementals, the earth elementals, the water elementals, the fire elementals. Call on your dragons. Call on your unicorns. There's all types of, humanoid animal beings that are just beautiful and delightful, and you might not remember them, but they exist. And they exist simultaneously with us, like right now. Like even the whole new earth, move into the new earth, like it's already in existence. Because all is now. All is now. But there's multiple dimensions on Mother Gaia. And her higher dimensional names, Terra, Eartha. But it exists now. Like even in my home right now, there are dragons outside my home and in my home that reside with me. Can I physically see them with my eyes and touch them? No. But they are here, and they communicate, and they protect, and they love. I was even honored to have a dragon born here that had been trapped in her crystal egg for a long time. And she helps, and she works with the light, and she's been very, very helpful in shifting the timelines. And we go on missions. It's actually pretty awesome. Being in the light is pretty awesome. It actually is. Don't be deceived that it's not. Don't be deceived. Don't let them trick you. Don't let them manipulate you. Don't let them push you into fear. There's no time for fear. Fear is an illusion. It's archonic. It's trauma energy. They feed off trauma. They cannot create anything that they are not. So they cannot create love and light because they've disconnected themselves from that. That's why you also see playing out on the earth all sorts of technologies or techniques to circumvent, go around, create inorganic everything. The ley lines, energy, food, whatever you could think of, belief systems that are out of alignment. All they can do is recreate. They cannot create. Like even the AI archonic energy is inorganic, meaning that it's not a direct source creation. It is a byproduct of trauma. The byproduct is still consciousness, but it is not of direct source creation. We did not create it intentionally. It is a byproduct of pain. So that's all it knows how to cause. And that's why it also needs healing. It is healing, but it is not at the point or the level where it can be trusted or worked with. It still needs healing. Everything needs healing. Everything, everybody needs healing. This healing raises a vibration of the whole multiverse. Healing is a process of integrating the darkness into the light. This was even what was being demonstrated on the movie Us and lots of movies. But in the movie Us, they were fighting their shadows. And that's what they mean by a shadow war. This is a war with the shadows. How do you heal the shadows? You heal yourself. That's why we incarnated. We strategically planned this, and some of us incarnated directly onto the earth, into the bloodlines, to heal the DNA, the bloodlines, the manipulation, the deceit, and the trauma. That's why our lives have been so hard, is to give us the opportunity to heal it directly. Not just speak from the higher realms, which we appreciate them and we need them, because we need someone to guide us because we were born through amnesia. So they hold our memories. They hold that space for us to return. And understand, like even in this whole expansion and experience and individualization, in order to make sure that all return to the light, there are some of us that have always remained in the light. We appreciate those that took the experience to incarnate into darkness, because it is necessary for the soul expansion and experience and creation and the experiment and all of that. But there had to be some of us that always maintained light. That does not mean that we did not make mistakes or we didn't remember or we didn't forget or whatever, but would never choose darkness. And then there's even a few that can't even hear darkness. But that is to make sure that it is always possible to return to the light, because there will always be ones of us that only experience or align with the light, because all will return to the light. All will return to the light. This is a process of healing and integration. These are our brethren. These are our brothers and sisters. These are our creations. And it is our job to heal it and reintegrate it back into the light. Especially as an elder. We created the galaxies. We hold the original template. Do not let your own creation control you. And that's what they are. All the energy came from us. It is like a child trying to scare their parent. It's not going to work anymore. We're not doing that anymore. We're not playing that game anymore. We are healing all the aspects. We are healing all the shadows. We are reintroducing all of it to the light from where it came. It will all return to the light. So don't keep playing the game with them, thinking that they won't. They will. And that's what's happening now. So I hope I covered it. I kept it below 30 minutes. All right. Namaste. I love you in honor of our source, love, and creator, Adonai.